Physical, like if you put me on American Ninja Warrior, it would be a viral video because of how sad it is. And now if you cut off your fingers and get $100,000 for each, how many would you cut? 0. The problem is, like, $100,000 is not so much money that it's not gonna run out. So, you know, if I had like $99,000 in credit card debt or something like that, that might be different. Cut off a pinky for it, but I'm all right. So like, I don't want to like cut off my pinky finger and then buy like a Tesla, and then in like 10 years I got no Tesla and no pinky finger. It's a permanent decision for a temporary problem. How about 500 grand? Have to think about that one. I'm assuming that there's no takebacks here. Like I can't just get prosthetics and then be like, tricked ya. This looks familiar. You rent, correct, NL? You wouldn't lose a pinky to get a down payment on a house to secure your financial future? Well, with the housing environment in Vancouver right now, I actually feel like renting is not really throwing my money away. It's actually keeping me agile and not putting me all in a housing market that is, you know, predicted by many to be an unsustainable bubble that could burst at any moment, especially given the plausibility of provincial legislation coming down to, you know, tax on occupied dwellings, restrict foreign ownership, etc., etc. Adblock atonement. Adblock atonement. Do you hate watching ads? I'm an adblock atoiny. Call me at 1-800 ads, please. This did nothing. All right, button 2. Okay, that did something. Oh, I see. Okay, you go like this. Am I a genius? World's smartest man. We got the dang Elder Scroll, finally! Fools roll down, fools roll down, fools roll down, fools roll down. How do you do all the annoying shit in 2 seconds but then die to basic enemies? You know, if you're under the impression that I'm an idiot, I'm not. I'm an idiot in some aspects of playing video games. By some aspects, I can't speak English either, which is a real problem for me lately, considering it's the only language I do speak. But in some aspects of playing video games, I'm a dang genius. Finding my way around, moron. Absolute idiot. That puzzle, though, it just was apparent to me. Rank the planets of the solar system by your criteria of choice. Okay, well, it's obvious. First planet, Earth. This big blue marble we call home. Number 2, Mars. It's our brother from another mother. Number 3, I think you gotta go Jupiter. Big man, you gotta give it the respect it deserves. Saturn's number 4, because it's got those dope-ass rings. Number 6, I'm gonna say that it's a tie between Uranus and Neptune, because Uranus, of course, has been the source of all these great puns and wordplay. But Neptune is also, like, badass, you know? It's the big blue marble we don't call home. And then it's also named after the lords of the underworld. And then I think you gotta say, probably next comes Venus. It's like Venus is like, hey, we're close. You want to come for a vacation? And then you arrive, and it's just full of fucking like sulfurous gas, and you're dead. And you're like, oh, the TripAdvisor, you gave this a 3 stars. Really, it should be 2 maximum. And then I think in the final slot, you got to say Mercury, because it's like, who gives a shit about Mercury? It's just a big old hot rock. Nobody cares. And don't even get me started on Pluto. I'm an astronomer. Your tier list is good. Hell yeah. Rank the moons of the solar system. Gotta go number 1, the moon. La Luna, the big gray rock we call home. And then the rest are tied for second. Look, I don't know the moons of Saturn. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't need to know the moons of Saturn. Because anytime I want, I can just go on Wikipedia and be like, oh, there's the moons of Saturn right there.
The ceiling structure interlocks in the tiniest fractals. Dwemer blood can loose the hooks, but none alive remain to bear.
This is like Nick when he goes off on a jelly tangent. I just gotta wait for it to be over, and then we can get back to the gravy. NL, you went to college and you don't know the moons of Saturn? I didn't take Astronomy 101. It was a commonly used elective in the Bachelor's of Science program, but I did not take it. Instead, I took Biomath, which taught me how to use Mathematica. In hindsight, really bad for my GPA, but, you know, I learned a practical skill.
The box contains the heart.
The box contains the heart! Misa's so happy you got the box! Hermia Samora.
He asks a price. to work his will.
This guy is just as fucked up as Cicero is. Rank the Star Wars franchise worst to best. Star Wars Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back. Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Oh, sorry, I did it in reverse. What is going on up here, though? I guess I'll speak to the wretched abyss.
Come closer, bask in my presence. I am Hermaeus Mora. I am the guardian of the unseen and knower.
This guy seems like he just got the position of being the god of the wretched abyss because of his cool voice. I mean, people are saying Phantom Menace is terrible, but Attack of the Clones is so much worse. I think the lows of Attack of the Clones are a lot more eye-roll worthy than the lows of the Phantom Menace. But all of the Phantom Menace is bad. And I think if you haven't seen the Phantom Menace in a while, you may think that this anti-Jar Jar thing is like being a little bit overblown. It's like a circle jerk. Jar Jar Binks is like real fucking annoying. And I gotta admit, you know, Attack of the Clones, the whole I don't like sand, is grainy, it gets everywhere, blah, blah, blah. Or it's coarse and it gets everywhere, whatever. That shit is horrible. But all of the Phantom Menace is bad. At least Obi-Wan gets some cool stuff in Attack of the Clones. The Phantom Menace really only has Duel of the Fates. The pod racing scene is... I don't think it's good. But I know a lot of people disagree with me there. Did you and Kate ever finish watching them all? We did, actually. We watched the prequels, like, last Christmas. And then we watched the originals on the flight back from Japan. They had all 3 of the... Well, they actually had all 6. And, you know what? They had The Force Awakens, too. They had all 7 of the Star Wars films on Japan Airlines, which was actually really convenient, because it's like a 9-hour flight, so we had plenty of time to see 3 of them. Sebulba is the best character in the franchise. Sebulba is basically a war criminal. What's better, the Star Wars franchise or Lord of the Rings franchise? Are you lumping the Hobbit movies in with the Lord of the Rings franchise? Because if you're lumping the Hobbit movies in... I mean, I think you gotta go Star Wars. But if it's just the Lord of the Rings films, they're all bona fide classics. So at least in terms of like the concentration of quality, you gotta go with Lord of the Rings there. And I find the Hobbit movies like almost as bad as the prequels, which might not be necessarily a popular opinion.
There is no question.
It's just a big old stupid map.
Today, Alduin's lordship will be restored.
You worry too much, brother. Victory will be ours.
Yo, it's like being in the HTC Vive.
Hang back. We've staked everything on this plan of yours, old man. None have yet stood against Alduin himself. Well, sorry, Birko.
What kind of Nord gets
They
named
did
Sorry?
not have Dragonrend. Once we bring him down, I promise.
Hey, it's my son that I named Sorry.
You do not understand.
He's integral to the story.
He is
Boop, boop,
beyond
boop,
our
boop, boop, boop.
strength.
Hey, come down from there. We can't get up there. That's not fair. NL, rank the best bangers of 1984. Give me some songs that came out in 1984. I'll rank them. If you had to remove one classic movie franchise from history, what would it be? Police Academy.
Not be in terror.
Tyler Perry's Medea films. NL, rank the songs on Illmatic. That's the easiest thing of all time. Number 1, New York State of Mind. Number 2, Life's a Bitch. Number 3, It Ain't Hard to Tell. Number 4, The World Is Yours. Number 5, One Love. Number 6, Memory Lane. Number 7, like Halftime. Number 8, Represent. I might have forgotten some, but I can't remember. 1984 had Footloose and Purple Rain. All right. Footloose, then Purple Rain. I'm having a great time with this. These people are just shouting at each other. This is like when, like, your roommate just puts his dirty dishes in your room. Like, this guy's like, I solved the problem. I sent Alduin to a future time. Not my problem anymore. And I'll rank the songs on the low end theory. Probably like scenario number 1. Check the rhyme number 2. We got the jazz number 3. Hey, dude. Defeat Alduin? Hold up. Paarthurnax, kill Alduin! It's a fucking sweet-ass dragon battle or something here. Hey, Alduin, stop that. Which one of these guys is bad? Paarthurnax, do my job for me! You're not hurting him at all, man! This is your chance, Dovahkiin? Oh, I got an idea. How about you freaking do some damage? You forgot One Time for Your Mind and Memory Lane. I thought I said Memory Lane, but I did forget One Time for Your Mind. It's not my favorite. I think, well, you know, One Time for Your Mind, it might come just ahead of Represent. Did you just call me a Jor? As in, like, what the soup is due? It sounds like my dude is saying, for Zathura! You know, the sequel to Jumanji. Paarthurnax, I'm sorry! I hit you by accident! There we go. Smack him on the face. Just smack him on the face and end his life. Oh my god, I did it again. Paarthurnax. Could you just not be a dragon? Stop shouting at Paarthurnax. He gets in the way! He should have worn like a different colored shirt or something. Try plunging attack. I get it. How many freaking dragons are there now? There's too many to count. Too many dragons on the dance floor. Too many dragons. Too many dragons on the dance floor. Yeah, I know Alduin has the quest marker, but then Paarthurnax has like a different marker that's like a shield. It's a little trickier than I'd like to admit. Don't call me an arrogant mortal, okay? That's extremely offensive. This dude is fucking dead. Alduin! Talk to Paarthurnax, or talk to Arngir, or talk to Esbern. Okay. Hey, you jerk, what's up? Paarthurnax! Let's talk, buddy. You're right here, so I think this is a good conversation. What the? We're letting him get away! Way to go, Paarthurnax!
You truly have the voice of a Dova.
It's really good to hear your voice. One of those things that sounds so sweet. Coming from the lips of a Dova. Hearing that shout, it makes me weak.
This is not the final Krongra. Victory.
Can you just say victory then instead of being a pretentious asshole? Like, we both speak fluent English here. You don't have to throw in other words to make you seem like you're worldly.
He took domination.
Rank the songs on To Pimp a Butterfly. Oh, I think you gotta go. You know, that album is fantastic. I think I gotta put All Right at the top, though. I really think that that's like a classic, in keeping, like, on the same level as the true masterpieces of the genre. You know, King Kunta's up there. Blacker the Berry. How Much a Dollar Cost.
One of his allies could tell us But it will not be so easy to convince one of them.
Convince
to betray him.
means persuade in my language.
Perhaps the Hafkasayun, the palace in Whiterun.
You know what? I actually appreciate the
was
Hafkazayun.
originally built to house a
Oh, these
captive
walls. I
Dohra.
forgot about these walls. Also a classic.
Fine place to trap one of Alduin's allies, But your Sum is strong.
Rank the songs of Ilmatic?
Do not doubt
You-
that you
we
can
already did,
convince
man.
him of the need.
We already did. Ilmatic, though, I think is more of a plateau. Like, it's less highs and lows, and more like 85% of that album is like 9 out of 10. And there's a couple songs that are like 6.
I meditate on the Rotmulag, the words of power. I counsel
The
their
Rotmulag.
use.
Oh, yeah, so can I have a Rotmulag cooked medium rare, please, and a glass of your finest 2% milk? Rank the songs of Aquemini.
Of a Rotmulag.
The Art of
You
Storytelling
become
Part 1
closer to that word
is
as
number
it
1.
feels
And then probably like
your
Rosa
inner
Parks.
self.
And to be honest with you, I don't remember most of the rest of the album. But the Art of Storytelling Part 1 is an all-time classic. Even better if you get the music video version, explicit but with the Slick Rick verse at the end.
Power at its most
Rank the songs on 2001. That's definitely number 1 song on 2001. It goes da da da
you
da
have
da
all
boom
those.
boom 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 boom
Power
boom
is
boom.
inert without
And then I'd say
action and choice.
Daisy Daisy is probably number 2.
What will you burn? What will you spare?
I'm gonna catch something on the Usher tour and probably let it burn, and then I think I'll just spare everything. Rank the songs on Pearl Jam's iconic album 10. The songs are almost in order of quality, track 1 to track 10.
Let that meaning
But I think you probably go number 1 song on Pearl Jam's 10 is Alive.
find that
Number
your
2,
spirit
Jeremy. Number 3, Even Flow. Number 4, Once. That's where I'm going to stop there. Top 5 peninsulas by any criteria. Gaspé Peninsula, number 1.
Fus. Let its meaning
I can't think of any other peninsulas.
Sum arc mora.
We're off to see the Jarl, the wonderful Jarl of Whiterun. Oh yeah, I forgot about the Iberian, the Arabian, and the Crimean peninsulas. Top 5 equations in applied physics. F equals ma, you gotta respect statics, number 1. Probably after that, you have Andre Ampere's Magical, Mystical, Wonderful Law.
May the gods watch over your battles, friend.
Yeah, hey dude, long time no see. I was wondering if I could just crash here and let my buddy crash here as well, who is a
I thought you asked me
dragon.
to help you trap a dragon in my palace.
You know I wouldn't ask if it wasn't important.
I'm sorry, but I can't do it.
Well,
just
why
have
you
to keep
coming
fighting the
home?
dragons as best we
5
can.
in the morning, something's going on. Can I smell your dick?
World Eater
I like how every time NL does the top 5, he ranks 2 things and then moves on. It's hard, man. To think of 5 things, you gotta have a great breadth of knowledge to have 5 things and reasons for them on the go for everything. Top 5 Borat quotes. Her vagine hangs like sleeve of wizard, number 5. Number 4, you'll never get this, you'll never get this. Number 3, this suit is not black. Number 2, very nice. Number 1, my wife. There's your top 5, you
I want to help you,
savages.
Dragonborn. Bitterness
Is the
done
quote not, this suit is black not? I can't tell if you're making a Borat joke. Is the quote not, this suit is black not? If you watch the bit, there's two big ones. There's, this suit is black not. And then there's also, this suit is not black. Would you rather have to play Undertale to completion once a year or never be able to play any Souls game ever again? I mean, I guess, like, that's only like a 5-hour investment a year, 4-hour investment a year. It depends if we're talking completion in the literal sense or completion in the Undertale fandom sense, where you have to beat it twice and then, like, you know, openly weep on camera about every enemy you kill during the genocide run. Do Borat impersonating Yoda. There's, like, a great impression in there. Yes, my name is Yoda. I will be the teacher of you to the Jedi arts. I gotta meditate on that one a little bit more. What's your opinion on the Dave Matthews Band? Does this answer your question? Where are you going? Top 5 roles of Michael Caine. Alfie, and then every role as old man in Christopher Nolan film. Teacher of the Jedi arts I will be. Top 5 bands that use the nomenclature blank and the blank blanks. I can't even think of like 4 bands that have blanks and the blank blanks. Josie and the Pussycats, Paul McCartney and the rest of the Beatles. 10 minutes left, test your might against the Giants. If we can find them, maybe. Top 5 slang words for vagina. I think number 5, you gotta say Hot Pocket. Number 4, Bagel Bite. Number 3, Pizza Roll. Number 2, Lunchables. And number 1, Vagine. I like that, Glad. Vagine is not my lover. She's just a girl that says that I am the one. This song's by Michael Jackson. Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Best tasting human parts, best to worst. It would be ignorant of me to say that, having not consumed every single part of the human. You know, top 5 most dadly actors. Number 5, Patrick Warburton. Number 4, the dude who played Sean on Nip Tuck. Number 3, Jim Gaffigan. Number 2, Jordan Peele. If that came out of left field for you, you might be a racist. Number 1, as always, the inimitable Ronnie James Dio. Eugene Levy? No, he's more of like a granddad at this point, or like an uncle. What makes Keegan-Michael Key worse than Jordan Peele? He's not like a worse dad. It's just like Keegan-Michael Key, he looks like he's still in the pounding phase, you know? He looks like he's still slicing the salami on a regular basis. Jordan Peele looks like he's settled in to a life of dadliness. You know, 1 hour of free time a night, and he spends it watching a critically acclaimed show on Netflix with his wife, Chelsea Peretti. Dude, he's so slicked up, he had no friction. Also, that is not a goat. What are the most dad Kanye verses? That's very easy. That'd be like, and I vow that my child will be well endowed, like his daddy. And tell him that your mama had a fatty. He looked up at me, said, Daddy, that's the reason why you had me, yup. We was practicing till one day your ass bust through the packaging. You know what though? You my favorite accident. So go ahead, pop some Cristal for my newborn child. And wow, y'all know what this is. It's a celebration, bitches. There you go. That's the most dadly Kanye verse. It's the one he literally talks about being a father. What is going on here? These guys just practicing? Be wary or your ass may bust through the packaging. I need your help. I need to capture a dragon, but Pokemon Go servers are down.
Sky above, voice within.
My father always told me what's right. No, let's try it again. My Arngeir always told me what's right is right. Gonna get some afternoon delight. Who cares about the Alduin and Dragonborn's plight? 'Cause all I wanna do is shout into the night. Sky rockets in flight. Boo! Arngeir's delight. Oh! Well, Arngeir's delight. Do you brush your teeth after every meal? No, I brush morning and night. I floss, tongue scrape, occasionally use a mouthwash. But I'm not quite at the level where I'm brushing multiple times, or like throughout the day, I guess I should say. And what's the most dad way you can abandon your children? Definitely shouting, "Run!" while you like hand-to-hand fight a bear in the forest so that they can escape, but you're definitely dead.
Is that so?
I mean, technically you did abandon your kids, but
You were with us and helped.
it's a pretty dadly way to do it.
And what would you have me do?
If he's not with us, he's a
All right, George W. Bush.
He knows that. They all know that. Not
I joined the racists, but it's only to create a poison from inside of their faction that will rot the whole tree from the roots up.
agree to this unless Tullius himself will be there.
Who's the daddiest U.S. president? I feel like Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter strikes me as like the Mr. Rogers of American politics.
I'll give Tullius one more.
Everyone like has a big hard-on for Teddy Roosevelt, and he's got some great stories about being like a manly man. But at the same time, from like an international diplomacy standpoint, dude sounds like a total dick, right? He's always like, you know, what's my foreign policy? Speak softly and carry a big stick. How about like, you know, I get by with a little help from my friends? If we're gonna go with, you know, cheap little pithy sayings that you can just throw out there, Instead of be nice or I'll kick your ass, how about just I get by with a little help from my friends? How about lovely Rita Meter Maid, as long as we're quoting Beatles songs here? Your real foreign policy is she was just 17, if you know what I mean. That's probably not great foreign policy. I wouldn't dance with another. Oh. And I saw her standing there.
What is it?
It's Caesar's Legions.
You?
Do you Americans actually pronounce it as Kaiser? No, we say Caesar. The only people who say Kaiser are like, actually, in the true Latin pronunciation, the C had a hard K sound. Alright, go back and talk to Arngire. My daddy always told me what's right is right. Gotta talk to Arngire up high.
The Greybeards have called a peace council at High Rothbard.
Go get to the chopper. It's Judgment Day.
And General Tullius have agreed to go.
How would you pronounce the antagonist from Batman Begins? Is it Ra's al Ghul? Or Ra's al Ghul, I've heard that Ra's al scooters are getting so dangerous. For that Ra's al scooters are getting so dangerous, parents have started buying their kids Ra's al blades. Ra's al blades. Check this out. You got a fucking problem? How do you feel about this? Do you actually floss? Yeah, my dentist yelled at me. So, like, I try to floss now. Actually, like, every night I'm like, I don't want to floss. And then I'm like, if I don't do it now, it's going to be so much easier to also not do it tomorrow. And then I realized that, you know, you just play the tape forward in your head. You realize, you know, the first step to stopping a good habit is the first time you stop it. So instead, you know, 95% of the time I just get the floss out and I floss quickly. I'm going to be real pissed, though, if I talk to the dentist the next time we go and then he goes, hey, you got to floss more. I'll be like, you fucker. NL is such a dad with giving good habit advice. Well, I mean, I try. What's the point in flossing? Brushing doesn't get the food that gets stuck in between your teeth and then it festers and, you know, creates an acidic environment that eats away at your enamel and eventually contributes to poor dental hygiene. Favorite Netflix original series? I really liked Master of None. I thought it made some bold artistic choices, especially in its final few episodes. And it was kind of like 500 Days of Summer, but made like a little bit less hipstery, but there's a lot of them. That's what mouthwash is for. I have a friend who's a dentist, and he tells me, now, don't let me get sued for slander here by the Listerine Corporation. I do use mouthwash on occasion, but he told me that most mouthwashes are basically just the placebo effect. Like, it's good for making your breath like mint, but apart from that, it's not actually an essential part of the dental hygiene routine. What's your favorite verse on Scenario? I feel like a little bit of a poser. Because everybody's always like, Busta kills it on Scenario. And of course he's got the rah rah like a dungeon dragon, etc, etc. But then they go, Fife Dog, you know. What do you know? It's the Fife Dog is first off the bat with no batteries included and no strings attached. But I actually really like Charlie Brown of the Lords of the New School. Like, I think he kills it on his verse, you know. Rippin' and Rompton, New York, North Kakalaka, and Compton. Check it out. And, you know, he does a lot of, like, funny voices. Maybe he's kind of, like, goofy, but I'm okay with that. Anyway, that's going to be the end of the show today before people can disagree with me.